Hello again. So I'm just going to take a quick shot to it with the Pioneer 3/4 of Raider Nix, just to see if I can actually hit the moon with it, to kind of show off what is necessary to do that. So I believe it's a Juno II first stage, and it lobs the upper stage cluster suborbitally, which is super interesting. I probably won't build a craft quite like it. I don't believe. Maybe it's not the well. It's the worst idea. But doing something similar isn't the worst idea, because like the margins on this are just so low. I mean, the U.S. were just kind of trying to design basic things that could, something similar to the Russians, just make a first attempt at doing something new. Let's see, can I just go prograde? Sometimes the PID for stock is a little better. Yeah, big heavy first stage, like a lot of thrust, way more than the Redstone Mercury engine we were using for the Juno 1. I think actually about twice the thrust, single nozzle. So, rocket engines were really pushing ahead at this era, but a lot of the other technology was lagging behind. Doesn't look like it's actually holding that holding prograde. I definitely do need it to pitch over a little bit. Yeah, we're going to lob it, and it's not, the delta V of this stage isn't, even though it's a heavier engine, heavier first stage than the Redstone we were using before, it's just not enough thrust to put the package of all the stages above this into orbit. And so if you see these and you kind of recognize the numbers, it's because it's actually these next stages are the same cluster that was used on Explorer. It's like reuse of technology. So like I said, not everything was advancing substantially at the time. They're reusing this kind of, it was, like as you saw with my last video, well, my Explorer video, it was a pretty difficult craft to put into orbit, and that was, I don't know, that was under relatively ideal conditions. Here you're trying to hit the moving target of the moon. There you're just trying to get the object itself into orbit, and other factors not really mattering as much. So this isn't going to be a perfect attempt by any stretch of the imagination. I probably won't hit the moon, but I just want to kind of show the difficulties of this craft design, because I probably won't use this strategy to shoot a target at the moon, or shoot a probe at the moon. Don't recall directly offhand what model I usually follow, like what it's a historical analogy to. I kind of generally in my RP-0 play, I kind of design something that's like a geostationary satellite, and then use that, because if you have a bit of RCS control on the upper stage, it makes it much easier to make it a lunar impactor, because your actual engines, liquid or solid, can get you pretty close to hitting the moon, and there we go. And then the RCS will, pretty high G-forces that burn out there. So then we can, let's see, are there any, okay, when we drop this, we're just pretty sure we'll still have the RCS. Yeah, okay, so this is going to drop just like that previous one. We're going to drop the big heavy empty stage, and here we're going to pop off the nose cone that was protecting our payload. That's literally our payload. This tiny thing we want to send to the moon. Yeah, and it's like got no control. It's it's like a slightly larger version of the Explorer, really. And so then this package is responsible for, so take a look where we are. Like, it's kind of similar to what was going on before. So now, here, let's go maneuver node editor, prograde, come on, erase. So, okay, 5830. That's, yeah. See, it doesn't quite make it on this craft. So that's all we have. So I just didn't get moving fast enough to actually get this to the moon. And even if I did, like let's say I had just a little more force, okay, a lot more. Obviously I'd need to have a better path. I'd have to get more horizontal velocity with my first stage to start. But there, so I only lucked into that. Like, I just waited till my relative inclination was 0. But like you have to launch at a time when your suborbital lob here is going to be a good place to do a suborbital injection. Like normally if we were in low Earth orbit, this value would be about 3,100 to send something to the moon. And that would be comfortably, we'd be in a coast. We'd want to have made ourselves a nice low Earth orbit that's kind of in the plane with the moon, where this is a low number. But here, just during this short time that we're in the suborbital lob, we'd need to expend that much delta V to shoot at the moon. Whereas it's much more sane of a mission design to, so here, let me just tell it to aim. And it's using the same kind of nitrogen thrusters. I think they're a little overpowered here to aim this overall package for that burn. Is there a forward thrust? No, it looks like my rotation is causing the first stage to wander back at us. But I'm still going to expend the rest of the stages just so you can see how it was done. But yeah, if you look up this mission on the wiki and you see it was like TLI, like this mass TLI, I think 14 kilogram, something like that, TLI from suborbital, this is what they were talking about. And so again, these parts aren't placed in RP-0 or anything. I'm just kind of looking at all of my mission options for sending the first probe to the moon using American hardware. And I don't recall offhand, I'm pretty sure this wasn't successful or they might have got a flyby of the moon, or they got to a high orbit, something like that. But it's definitely not my preferred strategy. It's just so risky. Like it's a good idea, right? It's your reuse of the package that they designed for Explorer. So technical costs there are low, and this is an engine, the Juno II, they already had. I think it's the technical equivalent of the Jupiter C, medium range ballistic missile, something like that. So we've used this to put us in the right... Actually, I should have spun up. Oh well. And there are other ways to spin things up. But yeah, we should have used the nitrogen thrusters there to spin up. But anyway, then you fire this package. And thankfully, at the center of mass is pretty well balanced here, so we're only going to get a little bit of drift. But that's basically it. Just use the Explorer package, point it at the moon, and then, and you're moving a bit faster there. So now with that stage, we're in orbit, right? Drop those, and there we go. So we're going to be in orbit, or close-ish to orbit, like if we hadn't wandered off so much. If we ended up with a very elliptical orbit. Yeah, if you do that just right, you have a chance to hit the moon. Not a good enough chance that I intend to use this mission profile. So there you go. Thanks for watching.